Hello and welcome to the Kalos Club. Today we're going to talk about what I have entitled Hashmal, Christ. Glory as the constellated law of attraction, magnet, Sefirot, tree of life manifestation. Now listen very intricately and very closely to what I am going to describe. The Hashmal is some mystical term, mystical and thing in Jewish Kabbalah writings. This is also a Hebrew word in the book of Ezekiel. Now, Hashmal is put it plainly, is glory of Christ, it's glory. You know, you can call it whatever it may be, you can call it whatever, but it's the glory. And who is the glory? The glory of Christ. Christ is the glory of God. So when we're talking about Hashmal, we're talking about Christ, just to get it back to a Christocentric point of view. Because we can veer off into Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah and all this, but I always bring it back to the simplicity of the gospel and the Christocentric aspect of the Bible. Make it simple. Okay, so Ezekiel 1:26, and this is also highlighting on what we are talking about in relation to the cherubim and this chariot, which is the Merkabah. This is also the tree of life, this chariot throne, this cherubic throne ladder between earth and heaven. There's an aspect of the cherubic throne ladder and that vision of the cherubim, and there's different nuances related to the chariot, and one of those nuances that's highlighted in scripture is what is referred to as amber. In English, it's called amber. In a different translation, we may have it translated as gleaming amber, glowing metal, all different types of variations referring to the same thing. But basically, this starts off in Ezekiel 1:26, where what was described as the cherubim, and then going further up, we see this throne. We see this expanse in this throne, and a figure like that of a man on the throne. So this is where Ezekiel 1:27 describes this man on the throne. It says here, I saw that from what appeared to be his waist up, he looked like glowing metal. New Living Translation says, looked like gleaming amber, flickering like a fire. And from his waist down, he looked like burning flame, shining with splendor. Now in Hebrew, the word for amber is Hashmal, okay? Now Hashmal, as I mentioned, is basically the glory of God. Now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the mechanics of what this glory can actually does for you in relation to the law of attraction and manifestation. So talks about this amber, and in relation to ambers, it's able to rub against this material. It can cause electrical charge. We also see that this is also could relate to a brilliant amalgam of gold and silver, so a combination of gold and silver together. This is also referred to the color electrum, which is a combination of gold and silver. You see, in gold and silver, and so when we're talking about the gold and silver or bronze, these are all metals. You know, gold has also been classified as a mixture between a mixture between metal and mineral. And that is why the Aztecs have believed that they can eat gold and has these properties. And their belief causes you to levitate and ascend. But gold is abundant in our universe, and I'll get to that. So getting to these precious metals, gold, silver, bronze, these are metals. And when we're talking about Hashmal, we related it to also it being called electrum, which is a artificial alloy of gold with at least 20% silver used for jewelry, especially in ancient times. Now, gold and silver and bronze, these are metals, and all three of these are conductors of both electricity and heat. Now, the Hebrew specialists, they have said and translated that this Hashmal is basically electricity. And even in the Greek, it's translated as related to the word electricity or electron. So there is some connection between Hashmal and electricity. But when we're talking about electricity, we're basically talking about energy. We're basically talking about light. These are variations. And we're talking about electricity and light. These are frequencies. So we're also talking about sound. And we're also, if we're talking about electricity, light, and sound, these are frequencies, these are energies. We're also talking about colors. So they're all intermixed. So gold is a conductor of both electricity and heat. Silver is a conductor of both electricity and heat. Bronze is a conductor of both electricity and heat. All these things we see that was classified as Hashmal is basically referring to a higher level of glory of gold, bronze, silver, precious metal, particularly gold. This shining light, this beaming, shimmering light of Hashmal. So what's interesting also is that gold is what the New Jerusalem city is made from. New Jerusalem is made from pure gold, like clear glass. The entire city is made from pure gold. So we have this city, New Jerusalem, that's made from pure gold. It's made from this Hashmal, Christ. And this engine that powers the city. This engine that powers the city. But more particularly, the thing about electricity is that this Hashmal electricity, this is communication, but it's silent speech. As another interpretation of Hashmal is silent speech. And I'll get you what this silent speech is and how it correlates to those three models that I explained in the previous video. The 12 zodiac constellation, the 4 cherubim surrounding the throne, and the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, in the center of the 12 zodiac, we have the sun. This is the sun of righteousness, the high priest, Christ, ascending to the heavens, going through and taking his circuit through the constellations, you see. And we have also at the center of the 4 cherubim, the man sitting on the throne, Christ. We are one with him, so we sit with him on that vehicle, that throne. At the center of the 12 tribes of Israel, we have the tabernacle, but particularly at the very center of the 12 tribes of Israel is the Ark of the Covenant, which is also covered in gold, Hashmal. And we see at the center of the 4 cherubim, this man, his body up was Hashmal, amber, glowing, gold, shimmering light, and bottom and below was fire. So obviously the electricity and gold and meshed together is going to create fire, which is heat. Heat is fire. Fire is heat. At the center of the 12 zodiac signs, we have the sun. The sun is complete fire. But what also is found in the sun? The sun has been known to have billions of gold within it, a part of it. Could that be part of the reason where the sun gets its energy, its light, its heat? Because gold is a conductor. You see? So we have this technology, this Hashmal, Christ's glory, in the middle, sun. which is the middle of the 12 zodiac signs. We have the man whose his body encapsulates full of amber, Hashmal, gold, glory. And we have the Ark of the Covenant, which is overlaid with gold in the middle, which the 12 tribes of Israel encircle. And the same thing we have with the New Jerusalem city, which is made from pure gold. You see, that's Hashmal, that glory, Christ. Now, the interesting part about this is that what means of silent speech. The silent speech is related to how we see in the cosmos, where the 12 zodiac signs and constellations, they speak and utter the glory of God without words or sound being heard. It is in the arrangement of the 12 zodiac signs that utters speech. The orchestration of the 12 zodiac signs constellation utters speech and fulfills and shows the glory of God. Now, what's interesting is that that same pattern is seen also with the four cherubim at the center, Christ, whose body is oozing with the Hashmal, the glory, the gold, this light, electricity conductor. We have this arrangement, a constellated cherubim surrounding the sun on the throne. We have the same constellated 12 tribes of Israel with the Ark of the Covenant, Christ, in the center, the sun in the ark, that glory, you see. So this is how this law of attraction is integrated into the Hashmal. Is that when we are vessels of the glory of God, except it is concealed. When the glory of God is revealed and it comes to the surface, and you're oozing with the glory of God, you become a magnet that orchestrates a constellated arrangement of the will of God in your life, that all things around you, all of nature, all the cosmos, all the entities, heavenlies and earth, has to get in line to the will of God for your life and God's will through you. You see, because we see this, where the sun is surrounded by the 12 zodiac signs. And those 12 zodiac signs carry out God's will through the seasons that they bring on the earth. For a time and season they are for. The same thing we have with the four cherubim. They carry out the will of God. But it's because and from the engine of the engine of Christ, the man on the throne, who is harnessing that Hashmal, gold, glory, that is embedded and infused within his body. You see, the same thing with the 12 tribes of Israel, where you have the Ark of the Covenant in the middle of the encircled, constellated 12 tribes of Israel. And what did the 12 tribes of Israel do? They carried out the will of God on earth, you see. So if you are oozing and walking in the glory of God, and that's permeating from your body, then that is that Hashmal, that is that silent speech that will start to orchestrate the will of God throughout your life. Through cosmological means, through heavenly means, through earthly, tangible means. It'll start to orchestrate and create a constellated, you'll create a constellated self that works on your behalf. As these 12 zodiac signs work on behalf of the sun, as the four cherubim work on the behalf of the man on the throne, as the 12 tribes of Israel work on behalf of the Ark of the Covenant, Christ, the glory within. So in closing, again, I reiterate, the crux of this video is that this glory, this Hashmal, this Christ in us, that glory, when it oozes to the surface and rises, And we are living and walking in that glory, exuding, exemplifying the glory of God. That orchestrates that silent speech as we see in the cosmos with the 12 zodiac signs. And this is the law of attraction, where it becomes a magnet, where you attract the will of God for your life, and it orchestrates all things around you to move on your behalf. It is that glory that works as a magnet, as gold, is a conductor, electricity, light. It causes things to live. It causes things to move. So the Hashmal is not just the engine for the chariot vehicle, but it is that communication tool by which things communicate. Everything is communicated through this light, through this Hashmal, this glory. And it's through that communication that all things are orchestrated and run in place for the will of God through your life. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.